that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Yeah. Good times.
No AC in Arizona. Who cares, right?
Right. No, listen, it's not even a big deal. We just, sweat it out, right?
Just open a couple windows, let that breeze in.
Yeah. Some people pay for saunas. You didn't have to.
Yeah, mine was free. 99.
Free.
I moved those days,
Or
right?
else just known as Finland.
Is Finland hot? I don't get the reference.
No, and it's probably not even Finland. There's a country that I think it's Sweden or something like that. That like a big thing that they do is like saunas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have like public ones that you can go to. Like every house has one built into it, which is pretty dope.
It sounds pretty dope.
Right?
Interesting.
Stupid ass.
Yep.
Have you played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League?
No, because it looks
Is it
terrible.
out?
Yeah, it came out this week.
No. Finland, by the way, you were right.
Finland. Okay.
Sauna culture in Finland is an integral part of the lives.
Mm-hmm.
Shit I didn't know until just now.
Does it say why?
I know it's supposed to be healthy for you.
Saunas are healthy for you. Good for your skin, let's say.
They can also help you sleep at night, so kind of like because your body naturally like tones itself down temperature-wise when you sleep, so you go from like whatever your natural body temperature is, and then when you sleep it like cools down. So one way to help you sleep is to heat your body up and then let it cool down. Your body will be like, oh my god, I'm tired. Like, have you ever had those like hot days where you're like, man, I'm just suddenly tired in the middle of the day?
Yeah, it's called summer.
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea. You're like, your body's really, high temperature, so it's like, oh fuck, I need a rest. Kind of the same idea.
Here it says, in a sauna, people cleanse their bodies and minds and embrace a sense of inner peace.
Meditative. I like it.
Traditionally, the sauna has been considered a sacred space, a church of nature.
Because they're naked. No.
A church of nature.
What church do you go to naked? I don't want
The
to
Church of Nature. You just said it.
Yeah, church of nature.
Tree-hugging sons of bitches, huh? There's a word here. I think that's an I. Maybe it's an L. With an O with the two little dots above it. Is that an umlaut? YLY.
Double umlaut?
The spirit or steam released by casting water onto a stack of heated stones. So it's supernatural.
Hell yeah. Dean and Sam coming after you?
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
Reference.
Because of that show they were on.
Yeah, I would like one. It'd be cool. Or hot.
It'd be cool,
Said,
but hot.
Traditional public saunas in the cities almost disappeared after the 1950s, but they've been making a comeback thanks to private initiatives. Sounds dirty.
The government didn't want to fund them anymore?
Lazy bastards. Or maybe cheap. Maybe cheap's the right word, not lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say cheap.
Thank God.
It's off.
Yeah, no shit.
Shut it.
Anyway, I only asked for a couple reasons. One, if anybody had any idea of what the gameplay was like, because it didn't seem very good. Going into it, because it's just another looter shooter type thing. And two, apparently, like day one, servers went down, and people were having a hard time playing it.
I would not doubt
Suppose I'm
that.
not surprised by that.
Yeah. And then I've seen articles about the return rate on it. People on Steam just
Hate it.
returning it. Well, no, it's weird because it's not necessarily hating it. I think it still had like an 87% last time I saw it, which was like yesterday or the day before. 87% like positive rating on Steam, but it had like a high return rate. It was weird. Maybe I misread the article, but yeah. I was wondering if you guys had any opinion of it.
No. You're welcome.
I watched the trailer and I was like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, I'd be interested to play it for free.
Yeah, that's the problem right there, for free.
Yeah.
It has a 61 on Metacritic right now.
61.
IGN gave it a 50. GamePro Germany gave it a 60.
It's not reviewing very well.
Nope.
It is a game when they announced it early, and the idea of it sounded really cool, especially made by the developer Rocksteady, people behind the Arkham games, which are really fantastic games.
Right, and that's part of the reason why I'd be interested in it.
Yeah, it seemed like it'd be really cool for like a group of friends to play together and have fun. But the moment that they turned it into just a weird, wacky loot shooter type game, that what was the other thing that I can't remember what the other buzzword that they put into it. It was just like, oh yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Well, I thought it was weird right before the release. Well, the actual release, not the previous. Is supposed to be out before release. They teased DLC characters.
Oh, did they? I haven't seen this.
And I was like, I didn't look at it because I didn't care enough. But I was like, shouldn't you wait till the game comes out and then tease the DLC characters?
Nah, you gotta tease what's on the disc already.
Disc? Yeah, right. Because all those Steam players bought it on disc to return it.
Let me guess, was Weasel one of the ones that you could play as?
I don't know. I didn't look into it because
Would not surprise me.
no, I like I said, I saw that first trailer and I was like, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks though.
The first actual gameplay trailer.
Yeah, I was like, no, because the first teaser trailer was like, that's kind of cool, right? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
But then that first gameplay trailer was like, oh, this looks
Terrible.
real bad. It reminded me a lot of that fucking what was that?
Avengers.
Well, a little bit of that, but what was that one that came out with like the Bat family without the Batman game?
Oh, Arkham Knights.
Yeah, that game looks fucking trash.
Arkham Knights.
Gotham Knights?
Gotham Knights, not
Yeah.
Arkham Knights.
Yeah.
That game
Which
looked
is-
fucking
which,
terrible.
We can go off on a whole different tangent on its own because it's garbage that you call that game Gotham Knights to follow up Arkham Knights. It actually has nothing to do with the Arkham series. Even though the Batman in that game is dead, which you supposedly kill the Batman off in the previous, whatever, man. Like it sounded like it was supposed to be a sequel, and then they were just like, no, we're not gonna do it as a sequel, so let's just make it its own thing, but keep it the same.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb. Hate it. Anyway.
It's good times. Great oldies.
So I haven't watched the trailer yet for the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah.
I really do want to watch the
You definitely should.
trailer for this. I just haven't. It's not even like I haven't gotten around to it. I just literally haven't sat on the toilet long enough to watch it.
I didn't need to know that. Really didn't need to know that.
I mean, anyway.
Thanks for being honest and open, Joe.
No.
So what else do you do when you're going to the bathroom? I have seen pictures of it, and I was trying to send this to you guys yesterday, but my iPhone was being stupid and not allowing me to copy pictures from Apple News articles.
Yeah, it does that all the time.
But can Alan Richardson get any bigger? Like, there's this
I'm sure he could.
picture of him holding a gun on what looks to be like a beach or something like that with just the goofy ass glasses, and the dude is just
Massive.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he filmed. So he apparently filmed his portion of the movie or the movie right after the wrap of Reacher season 1.
For season 1, okay.
Wait, was it? They said it. Maybe it was season 2. It might have been season 2. And then, because he went... Oh, it was. Yeah, it was. Because he went right from that to filming season 3. Or the start of season 3. Pre-production of season 3. So it must have been right after season 2, yeah. But what's hilarious to me is... it looks like they just put a tighter shirt on him to make him look even bigger. But there's a part where he's shooting a bow. And, like, he's just manhandling the shit out of a bow. And I was like... That's not normal.
Well, looking at
you, it's actually a tree.
A tree with a rope, a length of a rope tied to it.
Puts a rope around it.
I'm looking at the picture I think you were referring to, Joe, and he's got like straps tied around his forearm.
Yes. Yeah.
And
he's just huge.
Yikes.
Like, I don't think that you could fit him and Henry Cavill in a scene together. Like, how do you do it?
I'm pretty well. If there's one that shows
wide angle,
I think the two of them together, but they're not actually in the same. Like, they're not standing next to each other. One's in front of the other because you can't fit them both on the screen that way.
Miles away because you can't fit them both in the same frame.
Yeah, you really can't. And there are not many dudes that can make Henry Cavill look average.
No, right? But just the sheer amount of people that are going to be in this movie is just, like, ungodly awesome.
It is a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Or looks to be a good time.
What was this? Was this coming to theaters? This is the one coming to theaters. His other Guy Richie thing is Netflix, right?
His other Guy Richie thing?
Yeah, because he's got the Gentleman, I think it's called. Yeah, the Netflix series, The Gentleman.
And this one's coming in April.
Yeah.
Wait, when you say this, who are you talking about?
Sorry. The Ungentlemanly Warfare comes April 19th.
Yeah, and that's a theater.
That is a theater. It's a Lionsgate film, so it is a theater release.
Yeah.
You're just talking about Guy Richie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy Ritchie's.
The way you said it, I thought you meant like
with us right now, Cody.
No, like the way he said it, it made it sound like he was talking about like one of the people from the movie was in the show The Gentleman.
No.
And I was like, wait.
Said, God, is this the Guy Richie thing that's coming to theater, or is that the Netflix, or is this the Netflix Guy Ritchie?
No, that one's a movie, yeah.
Yeah. Because the Netflix Guy Richie thing is the Gentleman. This is the the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes.
Which is going to be
similar-ish titles.
Yeah.
Lots of gentleman stuff.
Lots of gentlemanly thing.
Gentleman and ungentleman.
You say N?
And ungentleman.
Anyway, that's all I had for this week.
Okay. That has been this week. Oh. Just kidding. Well, I was going to say, I did send a couple things that apparently Joe didn't watch any of. So that's cool. I had work. They're trailers, Joe. They're easy to watch, bud.
Listen, I have work too. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
and a kid. And a kid.
You do all that from home.
Not the kid thing.
Sometimes from home.
Only on every other weekend.
See, told you.
I don't have an excuse.
You don't.
Nope. Just lazy.
That too.
Pure laziness.
Anyway, so what did you send to us?
That fucking hilarious commercial from Paramount.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Goddamn, that was great.
Oh yeah, I did actually watch that. That was pretty great.
They do one of those every year or the past couple years, and they're always fantastic. They're just ridiculous. Don't click on that.
Just having Patrick Stewart be kind of a slight asshole is pretty funny.
It is pretty rad. Did either of you play Death Stranding, the first one?
No, I don't have a PlayStation.
Okay.
Well, I could play it now. Technically, it's on.
Yeah, it's on PC.
PC.
So they announced Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I think that's what it's called. It's very bizarre. I never played the first one because it looked like a game I didn't want to play.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, I dig his games, but that game for some reason I was like, this does not look like it's going to be any fun. Because it's just like you're walking around and like whatever. But I was like,
It's also a slightly social game, and you're not a slightly social person.
is this a social game?
Yeah, slightly. Like you're not interacting with other players directly, but at certain points in the game, because part of the thing is basically you're a glorified
Delivery person.
UPS person.
Yeah.
You can upgrade yourself and upgrade your equipment to the point where you can like create ladders and roads and stuff like that. So what you do in your game as far as creating some of that stuff can show up in other people's games. So you can have somebody that has traversed the area that you're traversing now, and they'll have left like a rope or a ladder or a road or something that will help you out in your game. But you can do that somehow and help other people in their games as well. I'm not exactly sure how the mechanic works, but it's somewhat like that.
I did not know that. I thought it was just a single player game thingy.
No. But again, it's not you're interacting with the other person, you're just kind of interacting with the stuff that they've left behind.
Interesting. That sounds even worse. But so I don't know anything about the first game other than like there's a weird Kojima world, and like babies in tanks and living things that shouldn't be alive, and Guillermo del Toro in a sewer. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen fucking roaming around being all creepy. I watched the announcement trailer for the second one, and they show like, I guess it's gameplay. Not too sure. I know it's in-game captured, but I don't know if it's gameplay because there's walking involved. There's guns this time, I guess. I don't know. But there's this part where this character shows up who looks like a mix between Alice Cooper and The Crow.
Nice.
And it's voiced by Troy Baker.
Oh.
Who I didn't realize was in the first game because I thought we saw like that they were using like all like the people who did motion capture and stuff in it, like Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, sure. But he was in this and he was like a robot ninja with a synth guitar axe.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I was like, what the hell's happening? And then I'm pretty sure there's a shot where you fly up into some body orifice of somebody and you see a baby in the breach, and the baby has like black stuff running out of its eyes, which is the Death Stranding, I guess. And then it opens its mouth to scream and a little spaceship flies out. And I was like, I don't know what is happening in this game.
You sure you just didn't eat one of Paige's brownies?
No, this was she didn't have any left. But it was, I was like, what is going on here? Because I'm pretty unsure of all of it. Because none of it makes any sense to me.
It sounds so awesome though.
Visually, it's great, but the problem is the visuals don't make any sense. And there's a part where like they're on the ship and like, I guess it's a ship, maybe it's a base. I'm not too sure. Again, I don't know. It looks like a giant ship because at one point, like it seems like it lands, and I think it's the same vessel, but it doesn't matter. But the Norman Reedus' character and this other girl that's in it, whose name is real, and I can't remember what it was now. She's a real actress, and they use her like everything in the game. Are walking around, and they look like they're holograms because they're like this blue shade, but everything else is fully colored. I don't know, bro. It's like, it's super confusing, and I wanted to know if either of you played it so you can give me some context, but obviously that's not happening. But wow, I mean, I was just like, I don't know what's happening in this, and like then there was like this giant sword wielding robot thing that came to Norman Reedus' defense against the Alice Cooper Crow ninja robot guy, voiced by Troy Baker. And I was like, this is cool cinematic, like they're fighting and stuff, but it's like, because he's like, he turns the axe on, or the guitar on, and shoots lightning from the head of it, and the dude's deflecting it with like dodging it and reflecting it with his sword, and then like he goes in for the close combat kill him with the sword, and then the Troy Baker character turns the axe on, and it's like an actual like laser axe, and they're having like this duel with the sword, and I was like, bro, I don't know what this is, but it's fantastic to watch. But I don't know anything that's happening. So, yeah, I was real confused. And there's guns now, so I was like, I don't know if there was not guns in the first one, but it makes it sound like there wasn't, and now there is.
I mean, I've seen a lot of footage from the first game, and I do not recall guns as far as the main character uses.
Yeah, and then there's this little. Remember in the Division 2, you get the backpack charms?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2 or was it 1? Had to been 2,
two.
right?
It was 2.
So in this trailer, there's this out of nowhere, again, completely out of context, it cuts to another scene where that lady is talking to Norman Reedus, and on her shoulder, because she has these disembodied glove hand things that like are around her neck that can cover her face and do other things and interact with stuff, is holding this little marionette puppet on her shoulder that's sentient, like it talks, but it's animated differently than like the rest of the game, so it's all jittery. It's very bizarre. And then he wants to go with Norman Reedus, his character, like on the walks or whatever. And so he takes him, like, it was funny because he's like, oh, really? And he gets to put him on his backpack, and it's hanging right by his butt. So then he moves him over by his crotchal region. I was like, is that much better? Like, you're still going to be bouncing around his junk. I mean, you're not going to catch his fucking farts or whatever, but, you know, whatever. And then, like, I don't know, it was very weird because, like, in the later scene with the Alice Cooper Crow guy, like, he picks him off and he's, like, talking to him, and I was like, is this somebody? Like, what is happening in this game?
Yeah, I'm looking at IGN has a little article talks about the story of it, and it hits all the same things that you've said. It doesn't really
make sense,
expand on it too much, but it does say that his character Sam Briggs is working for a civilian outfit called Drawbridge, who has a generous patron. Sam is once again setting out to unite the world and bring new areas into the network, and he's carrying a strange little puppet who hangs at his side and seems to move at a lower frame rate than the rest of the game, so that explains the jitteriness of it. The trailer features numerous environments suggesting that it will be considerably more ambitious than the previous game.
Vehicles.
You helped bring America together, helped to become the UCA, but I'm afraid the Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still on danger. That's a really weird way of putting it. Humanity is still on danger, still on the brink of extinction, says the narrator. As part of the gameplay, we also get a glimpse of Higgs, a robo-samurai character who looks like Sting and wields an arc weld-like electric guitar.
Which Sting are we talking about here?
Probably the wrestler.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty way of doing it because he looks closer to the Crow and Alice Cooper than he is Sting. But
yeah, I do see a picture of him here, and on quick glance, it does look more like the Crow, definitely. Where'd it go? Samurai with the card. Yep, it's a Hideo Kojima game. We also get a hint at BB-28's fate, and numerous other characters make a return as well. And the official description is: embark on an inspiring mission of human connection between or beyond the UCA. Sam, with his companions by his side, set out on a new journey to save humanity from extinction. Join them as they traverse a world beset by otherworldly enemies, obstacles, and haunting question: should we have connected? Step-by-step legendary game creator Hideo Kojima changes the world once again.
Once again.
Once again.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
So
it's
it just sounds like a legit Kojima game.
yeah, and like I said, the visuals are stunning. The game looks unreal. But I was confused on what was going on because like I was confused what was going on in the first one when I watched the trailer. But like this one, I was like, what the hell happened in the first game? Because at first I was like, is he a like a cybernetic recreation of him? Because like he's all blue, but then she was blue, and I was like, what's happening in this? But then they weren't, and I was like, I don't know half of what's going on here.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, well, they didn't get me because I definitely don't want to play the first one, let alone the second one. But I was like, okay,
Well, that one will just have to stay on the shelf.
yeah, not my shelf.
The character design of the Crow guy is actually just really weird too. He's got like this huge armor on.
Yeah. And the trailer made it look like it was a big reveal, so obviously he's a character from the first one because he calls Sam brother.
That'd be weird.
But I mean, I don't know if that's like a euphemism or like that they are brothers. But when he lands, and I was like, clearly this is a very important bad guy because he's centered in the group of these other robot ninjas. And then he leans in, and then his face is revealed, and I was like, that's a cool character design. Is if you're making a robot ninja Alice Cooper game.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
I forgot when I go into full screen on a video, it takes me out.
Yeah, can't process them both. But I was like, I don't know what's happening in
That's a
this.
weird cat. That's a cat that had long tongue and wings.
Yeah, it was licking stuff, and I was like, I don't know what's happening in this.
Yeah, I can already tell that. That's just too much shit for me.
Oh, this trailer's 9 minutes long.
Yeah, because it's there's an intro, and then it has like a story recap. Well, not I say story recap, but like a narrative recap of what like happened between the first and the second game.
Right. Last time on stuff.
Yeah, then it just has like mindless him walking, and then him riding in a weird.
Those glove masks. That glove mask she's wearing is very weird.
Yeah, wait, has it moved around yet?
No.
Oh yeah, wait, it's like fully autonomous. It's very unsettling.
Traumatizing.
I don't know if I actually want to watch this full right now. Oh yeah, it is moving. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and later on, it's like an assistive pair of hands, but only around her neck. So it's not like it like
That's a very
stretches out.
Hellblade? Yeah, Hellblade looking thing right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll continue watching that later. Don't do it now.
Are you convincing yourself not to do it now?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to spend 10 minutes of the podcast just staring at something.
No, wouldn't be the first time.
It won't be the. Oh wait, what?
I mean, it would be the first time, but yeah.
Yep. So that was that was one of the things I was going to ask about. And then did either of you watch Code 8?
No.
No.
Okay. So that trailer is going to fall flat for you both.
Yes.
I did not send a Dolly Parton song.
You didn't like Mike's Dolly choice?
Oh no, I did. I liked them saying I didn't send that. I was looking at stuff I sent. Ghostbusters. Technically, Taj sent it first, but I sent it so Joe could watch it.
Fair.
Oh, was that
I don't know why
linked
Joe.
on Facebook?
I don't know.
No, that was
No, that's a different thing.
Joe or Taj sent it on Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, so I sent it as YouTube so Joe would actually watch it.
Yeah.
He was gonna watch it anyways.
I'm pretty sure that Joe is just like anti-Taj stuff at this point.
Well, that's because you're like so connected on the social medias, and I want to have a healthy mind, so I don't do that.
My mind is very healthy, thank you very much, Joseph.
I seem to be connected to Twitter and Facebook a lot.
I wouldn't say a lot, but it is connected to Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
But you go ahead and judge me however you want, dickhead.
He will.
Thank you. I will.
I also sent the Monkey Man trailer, which is Dev Patel's John Wick movie, which looked dope as fuck. I sent the Ricky Stenicki trailer with John Cena and that guy from the Iron Claw movie.
That does look pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. It looks like one of those movies where, like, this movie is gonna push the boundaries of, like, is it gonna get canceled? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it seems like one of those, like, I think we had this discussion in real life, not on the podcast, but, like, there's certain movies that we all love that just could not be made today.
Yeah.
Like, for example, The Hangover.
Oh yeah.
Be a very hard stretch to be made nowadays. The Ringer. Definitely be a hard one to make nowadays.
There's no way you can make The Ringer today.
And I say this, it's not like they were, like, 40 years ago. We're talking 10, 12, 15 years ago.
10 to 20 years ago.
Yeah. What was the other one? The Old School.
Oh yeah.
The Ringer, 19 years ago.
Like I said, 19 years ago. But it's like, it just felt like the premise of the movie is pretty, I mean, I don't want to say pretty normal, but, like, it's fine. But then when you see, like, the fact that John Cena's dressing in drag as, like, famous people in a strip club, and then, like, the kind of shit that he's doing is like, oh, this is, like, right on the edge of, like, hey, this probably shouldn't be made nowadays without canceling all these people.
I feel like there's certain people or ways to do it that you, like, get a serious pass, and then others, and it's, like, canceled right away.
Yeah, it needs to be, like, it's one of those, like, I was surprised this wasn't on a streaming service. Like, this is going to theaters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, it's a bold move. It looks funny. It looks like it's pretty hilarious, but it's just,
It
like,
does.
it's just, I don't know if it's going to draw enough people in the theaters to be well worth it. Because it seems like some of these comedies just, like, they're not going to have as much as a draw to the theaters as some movies would. Like, I would like to go see it with my friends because it'd be a fun time, right? But, like, getting us all together to go see it is damn near impossible nowadays.
Yeah, because, Joe doesn't like to go outside. And
Joe loves going outside.
I love going
Just
outside. It's
not
just
with
that
us.
I only have Saturday, Sunday. Cody works Sunday.
Who knows when Mike works?
Who
no one knows when Mike works. No one.
Mm-hmm.
Mike doesn't even know when Mike works.
Yeah, seriously. Half the week this week, it seemed like he was like, "Hey, we guys want to go out for
Yeah, you want to go to lunch?
Like, all right. I would love to go out to lunch, but I am at work.
During the week, lunches are tough for Taj.
Yeah. Yeah, so that trailer was pretty funny. I sent it to the group, but I tagged Joe in it. But the Ripley trailer, for the new Netflix show miniseries, I'm not too sure which one it actually is, based on the talented Mr. Ripley, starring Sherlock Holmes, Adam Scott or Adam. Was it Adam Scott?
Is that this week that you?
I believe so.
God damn.
Jesus, Joe. Oh my gosh.
No, it just seemed like that was a couple weeks ago that you posted that. I totally forgot about that.
Like, shit that happens on Monday might as well have happened last year.
Seriously.
I mean, yeah.
I'm only at jelly donuts right now.
Another Mike thing.
Mm-hmm. The question is, which jelly donut?
Yeah,
So
he did
talking
post, like,
jelly donuts this past week.
yeah, he did post a bunch.
He was hungry this week.
So there's that one. Then there's the Ghostbusters Frozen Kingdom,
Which looks fantastic.
which looks like a real good time.
A real good time.
And then
This past week was when I posted the popcorn bowl too.
yeah, the prolapsed anus.
Dude, oh my god, that has to be the worst looking thing ever.
So the cast of Dune
So,
was on Jimmy Kimmel, and they had it, and they were giving the cast popcorn, and I guess it's designed where you reach through the sandworm's mouth,
yes.
and
That's
at one
trouble.
point, yeah, bro, I was like,
troubling.
I get what it's supposed to look like.
It's not good, dude.
It's not
just not
at all.
It's just not. And to me, honestly, it looks a bit different because I haven't seen the movie in a while, but at least I have seen pictures of the sandworm. Is that they call them sandworms?
What
There's-
movie are you referring to?
Dune.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
Shahaloud, but yeah.
Yeah, but it has like an extra like flair to the
Yeah.
end of it. And I'm like, I don't recall that in the movies.
So the problem with the design is it's designed to go over the large collector's bucket.
Okay.
So the opening is so much wider. They wanted to make the profile of the sandworm, right? So in his version of the sandworm, it has like the mouth like never really closes. Like it comes down like an anus, right?
Yeah.
But then so it has the bulbous body, right? Not like if you like we'll say sandworms, right? So like we'll go tremors, a graboid, right? It has like the bulbous body. Always back to tremors.
There's never a time where Tremors is not possible.
Yeah, no, not with me involved.
Yeah.
So it has like the bigger segmented, or not segmented body, but the bigger section of the body, right? The bulbous part, and it has a smaller tail and a wider opening. These are more like tube-like, snake-like, like they're all one size.
Yeah.
So the design flaw with this is the fact that they're tapering in, but it doesn't look like they made it look like sand, and then it comes out. It literally tapers up like this, and then as the mouth opens, it kind of articulates outward like this, right? But the rest of the body is supposed to do the same thing, so it expands, right?
Right.
Well, the popcorn bucket doesn't do that, so it looks like someone's prolapsed anus with teeth on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I could make a better design, but it definitely could. You would take that top area where you're supposed to shove your hand in the teeth butthole, and you expand that and make that the lid over the top of the bucket.
Yes. Right.
And so you just make the lipple region, that like ridged area on the outside, then where the teeth are, you make that bigger and just go over the whole top of the bucket. It's going to cost you way less. You're also not going to get flack about looking like Timothy Chalamet's fucking fisting a prolapsed anus on Jimmy Kimmel's desk.
Yikes.
But also, you're not going to have TikToks and Instagram reels of people fake fucking this thing in the middle of a movie theater.
Oh my.
Because they've already started.
Of course they have.
So
why wouldn't they? I mean, what else do we have to do these days, right?
and it's funny, like I saw a picture of it posted, not as a joke yet, and I was like, this can't be real. And then it just hit the internet like the internet does, and it just went everywhere, and I was like, oh no.
Oh yes.
Okay. I don't like this.
Oh, but you love it. It's
Nope.
fantastical.
Nope.
At the very least, you got to exercise your engineering/designing, skills to tell them how ridiculous it is.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that it's flesh colored doesn't really help.
That's the best.
Like, if someone's gonna get a hold of one of these things and paint it in a really not good way,
Do that.
and
Don't.
I'm just saying it's gonna happen, bro. I'm not.
34. It probably already happened.
Yeah, dude. Someone went and like stole some from that's sitting in a fucking back room at a AMC waiting to get released, and they're like, yes, I'm gonna paint these in vulgar ways,
Oh, God.
and then I'm gonna fuck it. So that's cool.
Your definition of cool and my definition of cool, they are not the same.
I don't know. Sometimes I think you're wrong.
I'm never wrong, first and foremost.
That's not true at all.
I mean, that's my story.
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That's not actually the name of it, but the new Supergirl was announced. What else did I send? Or what did we send? Taj sent a Facebook link to a very naughty-looking anime.
What's the fucking name of that shit? Hold on.
Talking about the Dune thing reminds me of Jesus Christ. The
Denis
director of Dune.
Villeneuve?
Yeah. I was reading an article earlier, and I wish I thought I saved it, but I just didn't. Maybe it's on my phone. but he was talking about his why his plans was only to do the Dune in the first book into two parts, and where is it?
Yep.
Anyway, oh yeah, there it is. It did save on my phone, but for some reason it didn't save on my computer.
Welcome to the world.
But it was asking, so yeah, that's what it was. So the headline was from Inverse, and Dennis, God damn it, why can't I say his name today? Villeneuve?
That's the one.
Yeah. Will only be a trilogy, but is there hope for more? The idea behind it was, he was like, he himself was pretty much sounded like he was like, no, I only want to do the first book, split that into two because it's such a large book, and then do Dune Messiah because it's a considerably smaller book, but it also kind of finishes out Chalamet's main character's story arc.
Yeah.
And then apparently, because I've only read the first book, I haven't even read Messiah yet, and obviously haven't read Children Interview, I think is the next one, and then whatever after that. But they were saying about how just off the rails it goes after book two. Like, it's a pretty action-packed story from book one to book two. Then it gets very weird. Takes place like with Paul's son, I think it is. Beyond that, it becomes a bit more political. But then, like, apparently Paul's son turns into a sandworm at some point, or they're describing in the article, like, very generally what some of the further books detail, and it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of glad you are stopping after the second book, because god damn, that sounds weird.
Awesome.
But that does remind me, all of a sudden, talking about that, whatever happened to the wasn't there supposed to be an HBO show about the women or something like that?
Yeah, last time I saw something about it, they're still planning it. I just don't know if they are still going forward.
Of the Earth.
The women of what?
So it's supposed to be the Sisterhood.
The
old lady.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they were calling it.
Dune Prophecy. It's an
Yeah.
upcoming science fiction television series set in the Dune universe created by Frank Herbert, blah, 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 blah. Scheduled to premiere on Max in late 2024, as it says, on Wikipedia.
We'll have to wait and see.
And don't forget about that. Full series order of Dune Sisterhood was announced in 2019.
Yeah.
But they're calling it Dune Prophecy. It looks like.
Which is, I mean,
Sisterhood of the Traveling Dune.
yeah, good job. Is because, like, obviously they're the whole ones that, like, are basing everything, or that basic, but they're the one kind of controlling and manipulating everything for the prophecy. Just like good religion, making things happen.
Right.
Yeah. Very, very innocently.
Yeah, not behind the scenes manipulating at all.
No.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't, with the way that the whole everything involved with the whole HBO Warner Brothers Max thing is just, you can never really believe anything's going to be happening until it happens, because they like to cancel shit all the time.
Quickly.
Yeah, right.
Cody, did you watch the rest of...
What was that?
Did you watch the rest of Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Oh, okay. Joe, did you hear him cut out too?
Yeah, no, I totally heard him come out, and I had no idea what
Okay.
he was talking about.
I figured that's what you were saying, but it went from, like, did you watch the rest of, and then
And I was just like, okay.
are we going through a McDonald's drive-through? I would like
Could
a
be.
double Big Mac, please.
No, I want one of those McCosmos or whatever it is. I want to try it.
Yeah.
It's not the drink, but like whatever the store is.
Cosmic.
Cosmic.
McCosmics, yeah.
Anyways,
So I finished episode 4. I was watching episode 5, and then Paige got home. And that was, yeah, because she's not going to jump in a show midway, especially midway through a fucking episode. But goddamn, that show is so good.
it's fantastic. I finished it. I couldn't, literally couldn't put it down.
Oh, I wanted to finish watching it. I was like,
It is
wrestling's on,
phenomenal.
and Paige is home.
So fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
Just about the ending.
Well, don't say anything because I'm not.
I
I'll
don't
finish
know,
it. I'll finish it
just-
today when she's at work. I did finish Percy Jackson.
Nice. What'd you
Uh,
think? Joe, did you watch all of Percy?
he hasn't watched any of Percy.
I haven't watched any of Percy. I
Jesus
just don't know if
Christ,
I ever
Joseph.
will watch any of Percy Jackson. It so far doesn't catch my interest. But I'm trying to work my way through other stuff that I have
Friends.
anyways, which would be, Jack Reacher Season 2. Hey, I'm helping you out there.
It's
I'm,
just
I'm
Reacher, Joe.
almost done with the first book.
Wow.
I'm like 70-something% through it. So like,
You let me know when you read 19 more.
There's not 19 out yet, but he's not gonna get there.
No, you won't.
But I actually have 30-ish minutes left in the second book. And then I was thinking about rewatching the second season. Not that it's the second season and my brain's not fresh, but I wanted to, knowing.
Now that you have the book in there.
Yeah, because I did that with the first. I mean, I watched the first season that came out last. Nope, I almost said last year. Year before last.
Has it been that long, really? God.
Well, yeah, because we didn't get season 2 until this year or this past year.
Yeah.
And rewatching season 1 after finishing the book, and Joe's doing it differently because he's simultaneously watching and reading, right?
I mean, I finished the first season and then I'm reading the book.
Yeah, but they're like right after each other, right?
Yeah, I figured like everyone else had read the book or was mostly done with reading the book by the time I started the book. But I was like, hey, why don't I, read the book as well?
Why the hell not?
So yeah, there's like a lot of there's a lot. I don't want to say a lot of differences. There's things they changed story wise, but not like overall story wise. It's still the same essential plot. It's just the details are different. And there's a lot of character interactions that are different. There's a lot less characters in one aspect versus another. Like for example, the barbershop in Margrave has like there's 3 people in it, but in the show there's 1 person in it. But they mention the other 2 people. It's very weird because like in the book, there's the 2 brothers that run it, the younger one and the older one, and I say that one is like in his like 70s, the other one's in his 90s or whatever, right? And then there's their sister, and then they all make appearances in the book. Spoiler alert. What?
The sister doesn't make an appearance.
She does. Don't worry, you'll get there.
I'm almost done with the book. They've been captured at this point.
Trust me, she'll make her
I'm just saying,
appearance.
be patient until you're done.
Yeah.
All right.
But in the show, the younger brother is mentioned only as not a throwaway line, but a line saying he's not here, so all you can get is a shave. Meaning that the old guy is the one that does the shaving, because that's who does it in the book, and the younger guy is the one that does the haircuts. And then they mention the sister, but that's about it in the show. So that's weird. And then there's different characters they use in different parts for like the fact that the cousin is not in the book of the bad guy.
Oh, the angry guy.
Yeah, little angry meth head guy. He's in the show, but he's not in the book.
What I thought was a weird difference that I encountered, maybe I am remembering it wrong, but if I recall right in the show, Reacher and Roscoe are the ones that go to the house to find the money in what's his name's place.
Yeah, in his parents' house.
And the parents.
But in the book, it's Reacher and Finley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that go. And I was just like, that's a weird change.
What changed that?
And the other thing too is like
it kind of makes sense of where they are in the book because they get back doing that and then get caught.
Yeah.
And Roscoe's been caught by the bad guys and whatnot. But it was just a weird like, oh, I remember this scene, but it's different. Yeah,
there's like and there's like these weird little things, and I don't want to say what some of them are because they have to do with the end and you're not there yet. But there's like this.
I will say that Reacher is vastly different in the book.
Yeah.
in
Oh yeah.
in the show too. It's a very weird difference to play him more stoic and straightforward in the show, and he's not much of a goofball, but he talks a lot more and has more. I don't know. He's a lot more enthusiastic in scenes in the book.
Yeah. There's this weird, and it's funny because, and I think Taj and I talked about this at one point, but not, or maybe I talked with Mike. The version he is in season 2 is closer to the books than in season 1.
I agree with that.
And I watched an interview where they were talking about after season 2 came out, they were doing this stuff, like press stuff for it, and they were talking about like they really like what they did with season 1, but they really nailed the characters, especially Reacher, in season 2, and they kind of broke the code of how to make him more like he is in the book. Because in the first season, he's which is weird because he's fresher out of the army in the first book in the first season because it's only been a few months. But in the show, he's a little more caught off guard by many things, where in the books he's way more on top of things.
He's very prepared, or maybe prepared's not the right word. Just not surprised.
Yeah, he's in because like in Joe's already. Wait, has Joe got there already? Did you already?
I'm at the part where I'm trying to remember exactly where I left off. It's right around the part where they get ambushed at whatever place that they were at, and so in the show it would be they go to that house, and
the safe house.
Caught. Yeah, not the safe house. Or yeah, it was the safe house. Yeah, the safe house, and they get caught by Kleiner and I don't remember who's there in the book, but in the show it was Kleiner, his son, and the FBI agent.
Okay, yeah.
But it's that scene in the book, so that's where I've left off.
All right, so you've already got the part I was talking about.
They listened to Roscoe on the tape, pleading basically for their life. That's where I left off.
Jesus. So there, the scene that kind of made this more of a point in my brain was the trap he set at the house, the family's house
right?
And like he ambushed them. In the show, he does a good job, right? But he struggles a lot of it in the book. He literally eliminates these motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
In like no time flat with no like problem whatsoever. And the fact that like Kleiner's kid is who dies last at the house.
Yeah.
But the one that in the show is the cousin.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a weird choice. But then there's a reason why it's different. And I liked it more in the book. Or I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I liked it more in the book than I did the show because of the twist that happens.
It was interesting a little bit afterwards of that part because it's Reacher and Finley talking about it, and what was it? I'm trying to remember. Finley was like, he explains he kills them, and he's like, whoa, what was it like that you killed these guys? And he's just like, I don't know, I felt nothing. What do you feel when you step on a cockroach? And it was just like, damn, dude.
And that's one of the things, and I don't want to spoil it because that's not a spoiler, but there's a relationship difference that happens in the book that's different than the show. And I'll wait till you read and finish read the book to get to it, because I know you've already watched the show, so you know how that part ends.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like the reason I was saying that is like I like what they did, the characterization with Kleiner's son in the show where he kills his dad, and he's like basically he's running the show, because in the book it's obviously he doesn't because he's dead in a pool. But
which is the cousin in the show.
Yeah, so like that part I liked that better in the show because you kind of got the feeling like in the book they emphasize more the fact that there's like this sociopath in the family, and like they've hidden it, and like he's gone through and like he's like basically killing people, and then in the show they kind of gloss over that. Like there's not really mention of like the fact that one of the Kleiners is a fucking sociopath, but they show it because he kills his father. You know, some patricide happens. And he takes over the show because he realizes dad's fucking shit up or whatever, right? But I was like, I kind of like that better for characterization in the show than I did in the book. But there's a line which you're about to get to in the book that I was like, damn, that's fucking cold. And he's like, why don't you call your son for to do your dirty work? And he's like, oh, you can't, because I don't think he can answer the phone in the bottom of the pool or whatever. And I was like,
That sounds right about where I'm at.
oh my god, dude!
I
was like, oh god, it's so that's such a good line, but you couldn't use it in the show because like,
yeah,
but like they could have at one point, like, because the dad was dead, he could have been like, hey, why don't you call your dad for backup or whatever? But oh, you can't because you splattered his brain over the wall or whatever. But it's not as impactful because you don't realize that like Reacher's like, hey, I killed your son, versus like you killed your dad. Like that's not the same impact. I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the differences, and I'll talk to Taj about this in our chat outside of the group because I don't want to spoil anything for Joe. The differences in the second book and second season, or second book, the seventh book and the second season and the book it's based on, there's a weird difference happening. And it's not one of those things where they change the story per se. It's changing characters and things like that. And it was so, like, I said this to Mike, I prefer the detailed things that happen in the story with the counterfeiting in the book more than I do the show. Because the show, it seems very just flat and basic, but in the book it's way more elaborate and actually makes more sense because of the story elements in it, the plot points in it, like the whole thing where his brother shut down printing in the United States, so like all that stuff, like blah blah blah, because of all the regulations they have on the chemicals needed, the inks, the pressing, all that fun stuff.
The book that they kept emphasizing, where it was like, no, my brother shut that down. It's like, wow, that's a very like definitive. My brother did this.
Yeah, the saying of that was very bizarre too. Like it's not like, and the other thing too is like,
I'm pretty sure that the Treasury would have shut that down and been shut down for a while.
Yeah, and then the fact that in the show his brother doesn't work directly for the Treasury, he works the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems like a weird change.
Well, oddly enough, and I don't know if it still happens, but the Secret Service is actually one of the departments that actually does. Maybe I'd have to fact check myself.
I'm pretty sure it is, but it's the way they said it in the book versus the show.
Yeah.
And the show, it's so much more. It's so less elaborate than what is happening in the books, and I don't want to completely spoil in the books because there's like a key point to it in the book, in the final showdown that is similar but also different in it. So I don't want to spoil that for you. It's not a big spoiler point, but it's just something. But like in the story in the book is the fact that like they're doing nothing other than gathering money, like the ones. But in the show, they're gathering the money and they're bleaching the bills. So like that's the big difference too, in the fact that there's, I don't know, it's weird because like there's all these key points, and I was talking to Mike about it. In the book, there's a big emphasis on the Coast Guard being shut down. But in the show,
they mentioned it like once or twice, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's not a big key thing. It's not like hey, this helps break this isn't helping us break the case at all. And the way that he does it in the book is he's reading it in the newspaper, and he's in his brain, he's talking about it and stuff like that, and then he recalls it, and it goes into the mystery part of it, right? But in the show they did a very clever thing, is they have a TV in the background of the diner talking about the shutdown of the Coast Guard, and that's about it. Which is more of a nod to the story than it is a key factor in the story, in the show. But I think that's more of just the fact that, like, well, actually no, because the book doesn't really. I was gonna say it probably costs less, but they didn't really go and deal with the Coast Guard in the book, so I don't know. It's a weird way, but it's one of those things where, like, it's the changes are negligible enough not to make a huge difference because the story's the same, but it's definitely the characterizations in the first season that are different than the book. That actually some of that changes quite a bit for the second season, because he's a lot more closer to the Reacher from the books, much more calculated, much more prepared, and things like that. But we'll get to that later at a later point when Joe catches up to the rest of us.
Yep, I will.
But yeah, I think that was all I had.
Yeah.
Taj, anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Joseph, you good?
I'm good.
All right, so that has officially been it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
Taj.
I've been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally. I almost forgot my name.
You almost forgot your name.
Just say it. I literally was about to say the outro, and I was like, oh, I forgot to say my name. That's not good.
Wow.
Anyways, that's it. We're gone.
Wow.
Bye.